Let us continue playing The Darkest Dungeon. When we last left off, we were about to take on the second boss of the champion level dungeons, and we are deciding to go against the Beguiling Siren. I have maxed out the skills that I am going to use on these characters, with the exception of this, and I think that's because of the high bleed chance it suddenly causes for not a lot of benefit. I think it goes up to 3 points as well. I will have a look into that in a moment. But for now, we have a Pirate Joe to lead off. We're going here for, basically, he's our main damage dealer and the only person in the party with any kind of attack boost. He does have the stun amulet as well. We're going to be relying on the uppercuts plus that. Overall, 194 base chance of that going off. Still has the move skills, which have a slight reduction in usageness, actually, so I might replace that with the hook slice on the basis that's actually going to be a bit more... The downside is you can't... No. We're going to have to stick with Come Hither. I know it's got a low chance, but it gives him the ability to attack the back row, which may be useful at some point. 35% damage against humans, 60% damage when it's stunned, and everybody here can cause stun in some way, shape, or form. Position 2, we have Shoot a Gun, Hound Rush, Target Whistle, Lick Wounds, and Blackjack. Blackjack, 64% chance, plus this, puts it 204% base chance of stunning with that. We should be able to just absolutely stunlock quite a lot of opponents for a long period of time. The Glyph Keeper, I was going to give the Vulnerability Hex and the Marks. That certainly has some advantage because it has synergy with Pirate Joe. But I've decided that the stab ability is probably more worthwhile to have, unless I decide to replace that with that. He of course does have the Eldritch Slayer. There's a lot of Eldritch enemies in there. Lots of probability. I didn't give him the Occult Wand. I was tempted to give him the debuff skill and the attack skill, but I think the debuff skill, especially the Weakening Curse, we need to save for what's coming up, so that's fine. Finally, Little Debbie. I've given Little Debbie quite a lot of higher resistances here, because if the other members of the party get taken, we can't afford for her to be stunned. She's our main healer, and if she is, with a high debuff skill as well, there's less chance of her being taken. I think the one with the lowest debuff skills are the front two members of the party. And if either of those require stunning, then clearly this is the way to do it. No increase in stun ability, unfortunately. So she's actually the worst doing it. But again, she's the healer. And we still have the judgment skills. We have an extra dodge from that. Stun resistance. It should all be okay. But the lower debuffs on these two are what's going to be important here. Looking at sort of camping skills, there's probably not a lot I can do to improve debuffs. No, that's mortality debuffs. Protection, if religious. No, because we don't want any. We can't afford to have any bolstering abilities, really. If anything because if we get stronger and they get taken, that's going to be the problem. And already it's kind of an issue, because I think these two are the ones that are going to be most susceptible to this. The good news is they come back in the front row, so at the very least it'll be the right way around. Anyway, we're 5,445. We have dog treats, so we will at least have some damage bonus to start with, even though I've already said that's a bad idea. Double stack of food, 2 torches, 3 anti-venoms, 6 bandages. I really don't need quite that many, actually. Yeah, that's not really the worry here. 2 keys, 6, and yeah, this is where the problem starts. Right, what can I get rid of? So I'm starting to get a bit low on items now. I think I'm going to get rid of a sharpening sheath at this point. Because most of the other items have their uses. Actually, we can get rid of this as well. That'll give us a little bit. So get rid of the Crusader's Crown. Let's see where that puts us in terms of torches. More than enough. More than enough. Right, I don't need a full double stack. We should be fine with just that. 12, plus we've got light sources available from you. We'll get light sources in the game as well. But yeah, multiple of these for the debuffs in the first few rounds. Multiples of these because we're going to be encountering the giant crab things at some stage, we imagine.
Under the blood moon, I lured my wide-eyed prey to the pier's edge before she could properly appreciate her position. I clamped on a manacle, chaining her to the leering idol. The small push was sufficient to send both into the icy waters. And when at length the tide receded, jewels of the most magnificent grandeur lay scattered upon the shore.
I get the feeling the ancestor may not be a very nice person.
I always wondered what became of the unfortunate little waif. The match is struck. A blazing star is born. The light, the promise of safety. A death by inches. A dizzying blow to body and brain. Press this advantage. Give them no quarter. As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms. Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all. A handsome reward for a task well performed. The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it. confidence surges as the enemy crumbles. As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear. Formation is broken. Maintain the offensive. The ground quakes. This expedition at least promises success. Masterfully executed. prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade. Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. Gathered close in tenuous firelight, an uneasy companionship. In Radiance, may we find victory. Another mariner, another misfortune. If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption. Without tools of iron, you must rely on flesh and indefatigable purpose. live. Decisive pummeling. Precision and power. As victories mount, so too will resistance. Watch your step. The aquatic devils have remade the poor girl in their image. She is their queen and their slave. Singular strike. A devastating blow. blow. Well struck. The walls close in. The shadows whisper of conspiracy. Hideous matriarch, vile queen of the aphotic depths. She has no place in the sane world. Teetering on the brink, facing the abyss. These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten. You answered the letter. Now, like me, you are a part of this place.